Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications. I would like to give a special thanks to Mercedes-Benz of Cutler Bay for giving me time with the all-new 2022 Mercedes-Benz EQS. My apologies for the horrible lighting. I'm inside the showroom right now, but as you guys can see, I have the EQS right behind me here. This is a Mercedes-Benz all-new electric vehicle here in America, but looking at the front styling here, I'm not a big fan of the EQS. It looks too futuristic. I wish Mercedes would have made it look more traditional, like a combustion engine car. Looking at these headlights here, they're full LED with an automatic low and high beam, with an LED turn signal, with an LED daytime run light as part of their digital headlight technology. Like I mentioned, this is a full electric vehicle, so it does not need any grill opening here to keep the engine cool, because it doesn't use a grill. It uses a kilowatt-hour battery pack. There's a 3-pointed Mercedes emblem here, front and center, with a front-facing camera. You also get more of the 3-pointed Mercedes emblems here in the actual grille. There's front parking sensors. This looks really good here with the white and also with the gloss black and chrome trim. But like I mentioned, I'm not a big fan of the exterior styling here of the EQS. I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section and tell what you guys think about the Mercedes-Benz EQS. Let's talk about the powertrain specs. Unfortunately, I cannot open up the hood here. You have to basically have the service department to open it to see what's underneath the hood. And of course, I don't think Mercedes even offers a frunk because you cannot access the hood there. That's why they give you a lot of cargo space. We'll talk about that in a few moments. But this uses Mercedes-Benz 107.8 kilowatt-hour battery pack. This gets up to 350 miles on a single charge. Let's talk about the charge time here for the EQS. If you go for a 240 volt, it'll take 11 hours, which is a level 2 charger. If you go for the DC fast option, you can charge up from 10 to 80% in about 35 minutes. Me personally speaking, I would just basically DC fast charge this vehicle because it's faster compared to the 11 hours on the level 2 charger. And as the EQS sits here, it weighs around 5,500 pounds. Horsepower is rated at 329 horsepower and 417 pound-feet of torque. This does use a 1-speed automatic gearing here. But stepping away from the EQS here, looking at the side profile, this has an overall length of 207.3 inches with a wheelbase of 126.4 inches. So this is right on par with something like the new generation S-Class. Looking at these tires and wheels here, these are a 255/45 Goodyear tire here. They're wrapped in this 20-inch rim design. As you guys can see on the rim design here, it does have the small 3-pointed Mercedes emblem here. It's for the aerodynamic purposes. That's why Mercedes puts these rim designs here on the actual on the EQS. This has the best coefficient drag out of any production car in the world. There's also this LED sight marker here on the mirror cap with the EQS badge here. My model does come with this large glass panoramic sunroof here, but the rear glass does not open. Only this portion of the glass actually opens. Like I mentioned, this vehicle is very long. Making our way to the rear here of the EQS, looking at these taillights here, they're full LED, which is a turn signal, brake light, and reverse light. And also, this is the actual hatch, so it does have that fastback design. I thought it was a sedan at first, but there's rear parking sensors, and of course, there's no need for any exhaust because it's a full-on electric vehicle. There's the EQS 450 Plus badge here. And to open up the cargo here, just press in on the actual Mercedes emblem there, just like a Volkswagen. And Mercedes says you get around 22 cubic feet of space. Once you fold down the rear seats, it expands the cargo to 63 cubic feet of space. And over here's some cargo off to the side, which is a cargo net. And underneath here, it does reveal some underfloor storage, also with the charging cable. But overall, let's hop into the interior of the Mercedes-Benz EQS. Sitting inside the interior of the Mercedes-Benz EQS, looking at this interior here, my model is missing that hyper screen. The passenger would have gotten a 12.3-inch display. They can customize that and watch different videos and whatnot from that screen. This is a 17.7-inch OLED screen here, and this is a 12.3-inch digital display. But overall, this cabin still represents Mercedes, which is very luxurious here. But reaching over here to shut the door of the EQS, and my model is missing that soft close door function. But to start up the EQS, just put your foot on the brake and press the start button right here. And the vehicle is already on because it's a full electric vehicle. As you guys can see, all the electronics were turned on. It does say EQ right there. But looking at the materials in the actual door panel, is going to be a nice leather material. The ambient lighting in this car is just super crazy. And there's this Carper-like trim here. There's 3-person memory seats. There's also 3-level heated and cool seats. Press this button here. You can also adjust the passenger seating just in case the passenger gets out of the car and they forgot to turn their cool seats on or off. You can adjust that from this control here. There's this real metal accented door handle. There's the seating controls here. It is auto up, auto down for all 4 windows. The switch gear feels really nice. There's real metal and wood trim here, also with real leather. The speaker cover here is real metal. This does have the Burmester sound system. Like I mentioned, the ambient lighting here is just super impressive. There's also the trunk release button down here. It is lined with felt in the actual door pocket here. There's some storage and cup holder space there. Nice and padded here to rest your elbows. This is a power tilt and telescoping wheel. It does offer a good amount of range and adjustability. There's the 3-pointed Mercedes emblem here on the airbag cover. I'm not a big fan of this white steering wheel. I think this is for the first production cars. That's why you get the white steering wheel here, if I'm not mistaken. There's the turn signal stock. Over here is the headlight controls. There's electronic parking brake. Over here is how you put the vehicle into reverse. Swipe up here. It does reveal a backup camera, of course. Really good resolution. Just like the S-Class, you have different angles around this vehicle. This does have dual climate control. As you guys can hear really quick, that lets the pedestrians know that the vehicle is in reverse, and actually stop beeping because I had opened the door in the car. Does it for safety precautions, but the vehicle's back into park now. Down here's for your drive mode selector. Just press on this button here. It does have eco, comfort, sport, and individual. As you guys can hear, very futuristic sounding here. Like I mentioned, it does have a dual climate control, also with 3-level heated and cooled seats. The wood on the dash does feel really nice to touch. There's more of that copper trim throughout this cabin. That's just frameless mirror. You also have more of that crazy ambient lighting on top. And there's also this large panoramic sunroof here to let light into the cabin. The seats in here are just comfortable and super plush. I like the way that these seats feel, and the headrests are very comfortable. I'm surprised that this model does not have the headrest pillows. I think Mercedes, you might have to go for a different trim level if you want to get that feature. But open up this, it does reveal my iPhone 12 Pro Max. There's 2 Type-C ports in there. This is the same key fob that's on the Mercedes-Benz S-Class, which is a really nice key to hold in your hands. And to open up the cup holders here, just kind of like twist it this way, and to close it, just twist it the opposite way. Really nice cup holders there. Close this back. And honestly, it does not even leave fingerprints here on this gloss black trim, surprisingly. Maybe a little bit of fingerprints here and there. There's some aluminum-like trim around the infotainment system here. I'm surprised that Mercedes didn't put any storage behind the infotainment system, but there's some storage down here. There's also 2 more Type-C ports underneath here. Really large storage bin down here. You can also adjust this strap here. You want to put your purse or even a laptop or iPad down here. Open up this, it does reveal a double hinge center console. It does reveal 2 more Type-C ports in there. It's also aligned with felt. Really nice materials that Mercedes use. Of course, I wouldn't expect nothing less. Open up the glove compartment here. You have to press that button right there. It does reveal a large storage. It's also aligned with felt. Very unique way to open up the glove compartment. This is a little button down here that you have to press in order to open it. But overall, I'm super impressed with this cabin. I can't wait to get behind the wheel of the EQS here, but let's hop into the back seat. Getting into the back seat here, the Mercedes-Benz EQS here. Keep in mind, guys, when you get inside the back seat of this vehicle, you kind of have to duck your head because it does have that fastback design, because this is a hatchback instead of a sedan. But as you guys can see here, I do have a decent amount of headroom here. I'm only 5'8", but looking down here, as of this filming, I do not have final legroom specs. Mercedes hasn't posted it on their website just yet. Once they do, I'll put it in the description box. But looking here, there is 2 map pockets back here for storage. There's rear air vents here, and pulling this area down here, it does reveal 2 Type-C USB ports, and the floor back here is not flat, but you can fit a middle passenger here in comfort. The seats do feel very plush and very supportive, but my model does have these headrest pillows. I'm surprised to see that the front seats don't have them. Maybe the dealership took them off, but as you guys can see, very nice view here from this panoramic sunroof. There's some nice LED lights back here as well. You also get LED lights here as well. But let's talk about the door panel materials here. There's the same carryover materials from the front. Nice leather with the nice stitching, more ambient lighting here, also with that copper finish, real metal accented door handle. It's gonna be nice and padded here to rest your elbows, with that real nice wood trim with the metal speaker cover, and also additional storage space there. There's a Mercedes name in the actual door seal. I'm surprised Mercedes didn't put EQS. That'd have been a nice touch if they did that, but it still looks really nice that they put Mercedes-Benz in the actual door seal. But pulling this armrest down here, it does reveal 2 over-engineered cup holders and a little area here to rest your phone. And this area here is nice and flat, and you can fold the seats down. But overall, the cabin of the EQS does feel very spacious and very comfortable. So to kick off the driving scene here in the 2022 Mercedes-Benz EQS, I put the vehicle into its sport mode, and Mercedes says 0 to 60 in 5.5 seconds. If you go for the EQS 580, you'll do 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. So basically Mercedes chopped off half the 0 to 60 time if you go for the quote-unquote V8 model of this EQS, even though there's no combustion engine. But I get the concept of an electric vehicle. Me personally, I'm not a big fan of the exterior styling of the EQS. I feel like Mercedes could have made it look more like a traditional combustion engine car. Me personally, I get the concept. It's electric, it's the future. But driving the EQS here, this vehicle does drive very smooth, and honestly, I actually like it. And my model does come standard with that 10-degree rear steering, because I can legit do a full circle just like I did in the actual S-Class. But I will consider this the S-Class of electric vehicles. If you guys can hear really closely, there's like a little beeping sound to let pedestrians know that the vehicle is in reverse, since this is a full-on electric vehicle. But let's do another launch here. It's already in sport mode. There's no sport plus mode.
Oh.
What happened?
Messed it up.
No, you're fine. I'll keep it in the video. That's Lewis in the back, guys, if you guys want to know. All right, so I'm gonna launch. I'm just waiting for these people to get out of the way. And that's it. That's 45 right there. That's the speed limit. But this uses Mercedes-Benz 107.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. Let's talk about the charging time here. Standard is a 240 volt, which is a level 2. You get around, it charges this vehicle in about 11 hours, which is super long. But if you guys don't mind charging your vehicle overnight or as you're sleeping, the vehicle will have a full battery once you wake up. But if you're constantly on the go, you can go from 10 to 80% or to 100% in about 35 minutes if you use a DC fast charger. Me personally, I would just go for the DC fast charging. And there's these paddles here. This is for strong regenerative braking, so you can connect that, so you can grab that energy and put it back into the actual battery pack. Right now, it says I have around 367 miles until the battery is basically depleted, which is super good because Mercedes says this vehicle is rated at 350 miles. So the range is pretty good. So it gets better than what Mercedes claims that the range is supposed to be. But me personally, I do like the feeling of the instant torque and instant horsepower. This makes 329 horsepower and 417 pound-feet of torque. Unfortunately, there's no combustion engine, so this uses all the power from that 107.8 kilowatt hour battery pack. But just driving here, the road, as you guys can see here, is not paved. There's a bunch of dips and potholes and stuff. And the EQS has a silky smooth ride quality. And like I mentioned, this does have that rear wheel steering. So basically it will turn up to around 10 degrees. So you can have a really good turning radius if you're trying to maneuver this car around very sharp corners and whatnot. So it does stay very planted. And keep in mind, this does use that skateboard platform. So this vehicle does feel very planted as you're tackling some corners and whatnot. But this thing rides super good. It's basically an electric S-Class. As you guys can see, the interior looks the same, but one thing about this cabin compared to the S-Class, this is a larger infotainment system. This is a 17.7 infotainment system here. You can also get that hyperscreen, but my model does not have that. Frustratingly, I want to show you guys the hyperscreen. The passenger also gets its own screen over there. And you can also basically drive this vehicle with one foot, just like a Tesla. So if you guys are going from Tesla to a Mercedes, you'll basically get used to driving with one foot, basically, because once I let off the accelerator here, the vehicle will basically try to come to a complete stop. Basically, it's gonna just creep. And as you guys can hear, that is the cool seats. That's the fans, basically. There's 3-level heated and cool seats. There's also 3-person memory seats here. But me personally, I think I would go for that hyperscreen. I was reading up on some articles and whatnot. A lot of people say there's a lot of sun glare from that hyperscreen. So if you guys want to see how that looks, I would advise waiting until your dealership gets an EQS in stock to see how that hyperscreen looks, especially in direct sunlight. But me personally, I always drive combustion engine cars, so it's kind of weird in the sense of driving an electric car, kind of, especially with the one pedal drive, because like I mentioned, the vehicle will kind of come to a complete stop, but not all the way. But let's put it into its eco mode here and just drive this car efficiently, because that's why you buy an electric car, so you don't pollute the world, basically. So that's why you get rid of your gas-powered vehicle here. And with the car in eco mode, my foot is legit to the floor, and I'm barely even using half its power here. So Mercedes is kind of limiting the power once you have it in eco mode, because my foot is basically to the floor, and the vehicle is going, but I guess it's basically to try to save some of that battery so it won't basically burn it out. But let's go back into sport mode, and once I put in the sport mode here, now my foot can basically touch the floor again, because Mercedes wants you to use all the power in its actual sport mode here. But like I mentioned, this cabin is just super impressive. I just wish my model did have the hyper screen. That's why the dash looks so large here, because it's supposed to be a 12.3 inch display. Over here you just do get the same 12.3 inch gauge cluster and the same 17.7 infotainment system here. You add that up, you get around 56 inches of screen or 59 inches of screen, so give or take here. But the paddles are for the regenerative braking here, which is just really good, and it's grabbing that energy and putting it into the battery pack. But I actually just love the concept of an electric car, but I just think gas-powered cars are just gonna be better in the long run. I want you guys to comment down below in the comment section. Tell me, would you guys pick an electric vehicle over a gas-powered vehicle? Because I honestly want to have this discussion with you guys, because me personally, I would just go for a gas-powered car all day. Even though, yes, I know it pollutes, but you know, everyone pollutes nowadays, so there's really no difference if I were to go to electric or not. This is just so much fun. And like I mentioned, 0 to 60 in 5.1 seconds. If you go for the EQS 580, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. So really good 0 to 60 time if you go for the quote-unquote V8 model of the EQS. So if you guys are looking for an electric vehicle from Mercedes-Benz and you don't want to buy a Lucid or a Tesla or even a Rivian product, Mercedes has built the best electric vehicle in the segment. Starting price here for the 2022 Mercedes-Benz EQS 450 Plus is at $102,310 with the options and accessories, including destination, the Mercedes-Benz EQS stickers for $105,900. Hope you guys have enjoyed this review here. Be sure to follow me on Instagram at DriveOnReviews and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you all in the next review.